we got our first program on the channel for the first time ever. I've only been posting boxing videos, but you know, here's some programming like the fucking thing was supposed to be. So here we go. We're gonna make a regular C++ program if it wants to load. This usually doesn't happen. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna make a regular C++ program, first program ever. I mean, not for me, but for the channel. Gonna click next. We'll just call it. Let's call it worlds. YouTube. And then we're gonna go over here. Probably just save it. We can make a new folder. Okay, and there we go. Program. Alright, we're gonna click create. Give a sec while it makes the project. Alright, so first things first. This is a console app, so we're going to be dealing with the console. We're not going to be doing any forms or anything like that. This is just hardbone, straight up C++. We don't need all of this, so we're going to do Control-All, backspace, delete, and here we go. We are going to first input our preprocessors, though. So the first thing we're going to need is hashtag, if I can, nope, so okay, include, hashtag include IOStream. Alright, so preprocessors are just the things that you need for this to read code to input and output code, too. So these preprocessors are very important. Think of it as things that you need to do things. I know it might be a little bit confusing of how I'm explaining it, but I'm telling you, if you read it, it's just saying include IOStream. IOStream is just the basic stuff that you need for any type of program that you're doing. Now we're going to using namespace std. And what it means by that, we're going to be using the standard language, I guess you could say, the standard, how do I explain it? Well, you could just say it's the standard way of the code that I'm about to show you. Like, the standard language. Not the standard language, but the standard way that you're going to be doing stuff with code. So, you know. And that's that. Over here, we're going to have int main. Int main. This is very important. This is where all of your code goes. Preprocessors are important too, but this is what actually makes everything work. And this is where all your stuff is going to be. And we're going to put return, if I can spell it right, return 0. Now when the program gets to here, it's just going to return 0, so we know that the program worked. If it didn't work, it's not going to return 0. And you can put any number there, but the standard is just 0. That's how I learned it. So int main, the reason why it's called int, because we're going to be dealing with integers. And main this is just the main function that we're going to put all of our code in. Function is just it's a place where, let's say, a bundle of code is put. So like, let's say you have a bag and you put stuff inside the bag. This is right here is just how you would put the stuff inside the bag, if that makes sense. Okay, and now we're going to write our first program. We got all of our stuff that we need for C++, our preprocessors. I'm just going to call this the bag, and what it's going to return if it comes good, which is 0. So right now we're going to be using a variable. Nah, scratch that. We're not going to be using a variable. We're just going to tell the computer to spit out some text. So in C++, for the computer to give back feedback, you would have to put cout. So it's this how I remembered it is computer out. So the computer is giving out info to the screen. That's how I remember it. People call it, you know, cout, cout. That's just how it is. And these are very important also, because these are two minus signs to the left. This is C++, so this is how just the computer out works in this language. To take something out or to do any type of code that has to do with the cout function, then you're gonna have to use these two less than symbols to the left. And then we gotta think of what we want the text to say, which is gonna give out. So the text that it's gonna say, and I put double quotation marks because without that, as you can see, the colors went good. Colors went light blue because it knows what we're doing. But now the reason why I put double quotation marks is because that's where I'm gonna put my text in. Without the double quotation marks, I can't have, you know, a solid text. If I just put quotation marks, not double, then it'll come out to something else. So right now, you're gonna that's where we're gonna put our text. So we're just gonna put hello world. Let's put an exclamation point. There we go. And at the end of this, a good habit to keep is you're gonna have to end this statement, and every statement in the C++ language needs to end with a semicolon. The reason why I'm putting another less than and less than sign is because I'm putting another action in there. It's going to be end line. And end line just means that once you get up to here, after whatever's here and there's nothing left, you're going, once it gets to here, you're gonna go to the next space. So the cursor is gonna go one space lower. So it's just gonna technically press the enter sign and go to the next line, but then it'll end there. Alright, and that is our first code. Let me just put this a little bit more so it looks better. Alright, and that's the first C++ code. All that this does, and honestly, is the computer spits out text and says hello world. Now let's check it out. Let's compile it. And there we go. It says hello world. And this is just, you know, all where it came from, what file and all that. And there you go. And you see the 0 is still there. Let me see if I can stretch this out a little bit. And you know it worked because it said it exited with code 0. And code 0 is what we put for the return integer, which is how we know it worked. It got up to that point. You can exit that. We're going to save the project. I don't think I saved it to a specific file yet, so... Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm gonna have to save it somewhere. So we're just gonna go to, don't mind the file names. YouTube program. And we're just gonna save it in here. Just need a hello world. Save it in there, check again. And there it is. That's what we just made. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.